We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid to see the light. So, Plato was this guy who lived in ancient Athens and is described as being the most important figure in Western philosophy. He was a student of Socrates, and after his teacher's death at the hands of the people, he began a campaign of knowledge and teaching unparalleled in history. Through his academy, he was able to standardize teaching for future generations of Athenians and Greeks alike. Unlike his predecessor, Plato actually wrote down all of his teachings in books such as The Republic or Symposium. He was also considered the first fanfic author in the world, often including characters from across Greece that would have never met in real life. He wrote so much, however, that it would be impossible to cover all of his work in one video. Hence, this video is split into two parts. Plato is most famous for his Allegory of the Cave, one of the oldest thought experiments in philosophy. In the thought experiment, there are these prisoners that have been chained to the inside of a cave their entire life. The only thing they can see is shadows of carts and people passing through a roadway behind them, illuminated by firelight. The shadows, in time, become their reality. One day, one of these prisoners wakes to find his bindings have rusted away. Given the new freedom of movement, he decides to walk out and see what the world actually is like. Initially, he is blinded by the sunlight. After a few moments of adjustment, he discovers that the outside world is full of color, warmth, and sound, perceptions that he had never experienced before. He sees that the shadows on the wall have greater depth than just an outline. They have 3 dimensions instead of 2. Upon absorbing this alien world outside the cave, he rushes back to his fellow prisoners, still bound, to tell them what he saw. Without the context, however, they look at him as a madman. He realized the only way for them to truly understand what he had seen is if they saw it with their own eyes, as he had. No amount of explanation using language could describe how he experienced the world outside the cave. The primary purpose of the allegory was to explain Plato's philosophical worldview, what is referred to as the world of forms. He looked at things like trees, dogs, people, and realized each had essential properties that set them apart from everything else, but that amongst the examples, there were differences too. Every single dog, tree, or person we perceive is different than all of the other ones we have seen in the past. But we know what each of them are anyways. We know a dog when we see one. We know a tree when we see them. Whether it be a Doberman or a bulldog, we know they're both dogs. He thought that all objects we perceive are like this, and that they are imperfect shadows of their true forms only accessible through thinking really, really, really hard for a really long time and reaching the world of forms, where the essence or soul of every object existed. Just like there are no perfect triangles in reality, yet there is a universal definition of a triangle that we all know, so too with every object. There is no concrete answer to any of the random questions Socrates asked, like what is beauty, what is justice, or what is good life. But everyone knows what each of them are. Beyond his world of forms, the cave is also applicable in ordinary life. This allegory explains the process of learning, enlightenment, knowledge, and teaching. The phrase, "seeing the light," has its origins in this story as well. The allegory has been adapted many, many times into numerous world religions and even modern motion pictures like The Matrix or The Truman Show. The shadows on the wall could also be applied in the 21st century as metaphors for mass media and the 2D screens on phones and TVs that give us a narrow slice of reality. Or maybe I'm just getting a bit too meta and overthinking this. Next video, we will discover his seminal work from which this thought experiment is from, The Republic, foundation on which all Western political science is built upon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, Tell me what you think below, or share this video with friends. See you in the next video.